Well, go on, peeps. So, back again, another project with Share Factory, and today, another GTA 7. So, PSN decides that they're going to give us free, PSN PlayStation Plus, and that gave me the opportunity to actually play some online races, and here we are. So, this is my first online race against actual players, and I think what happens, we supposedly should go into a warm-up. So the warm-up allows you to run the track to get familiar with it, but I started before the recording. I ran through this track like several times. I think my personal best is 2 minutes 8. Anyway, after the warm-up, you're supposed to do a qualifier, and the qualifier is you would run to get a good time so that it could end up place you. So here I'm at number 4. So there are how many? 12 cars. I'm at number 4. I'm assuming it's because I'm a warm-up time, but the qualifier will ultimately reset warm-up time and allow you to be placed accordingly. So they started off in the pits, and here we go. So out we go, and some cars start before some, and I'm assuming it's because of the placement. So I was placed in number 4, but anyway, it's saying that I'm starting in 8. So out we go, and immediately I am penalized. Apparently I went over the pit line. I didn't see, but I had no idea that was a thing. First time doing this, first time doing any pit style race where you have to actually watch your tires and your fuel, and it's a 3-second in the penalty. So the penalty means that when you reach the penalty zone, you will decelerate for 3 seconds. Yeah, terrible. Anyway, another car before me got the same penalty. I'm guessing we both didn't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, going through the track, as you can see, I'm doing fairly well, or at least I believe I'm doing fairly well. Keeping up with the rest of the pack, I'm top 10. One of the things that, so during the race, you will notice some of the cars get invisible, and that is to prevent collision or dirty driving. I'm not sure when it happens or the circumstances, but it happens from time to time. There are other times where the invisibility don't chip in, and you can collide with the car. Intentional collision usually results in a penalty, but sometimes you'll have a little bump and they'll just let you go. And coming up on the penalty zone, and here you decelerate, and see, if you look at the time, I'm running down 3 seconds, and we're back on. Yeah, that was crazy. They usually recommend that when you're in the penalty zone, you get out of the way of other cars so they don't crash into you. But also, to prevent any collision, you would end up get invisible. This corner is, I must say, is one of the worst corners for me in this game, because you have to come to almost a halt to get around that corner, and a lot of times, well, you will stay still, but during my training session or my qualifying session, forget to slow down, didn't brake soon enough, and you know, when the brakes in your car, oh, that go. So this is lap 2, and still on qualifier. The first lap that I ran, which is at 2:12, it was deemed invalid because of the penalty. So this second lap that I'm doing should be an actual qualifying lap. So we have 1 minute and 50 seconds left for qualifying, and I am in 7th place. What I noticed with this, though, the placement really doesn't matter in terms of like 7th, 1st, or what have you. Everything comes down to the time. So you can actually be in 12th place but at the end of the whole thing, they used the best time to ultimately put you where you need to go for the actual race. So that other car ran off the road. That can happen. One of the things that I like with online play is that everybody actually display nerves. It's different than when you're playing against the computer, because the computer at more times than none drives very perfectly. And with online play, because it's against other person, well, I hope it's against other people, you tend to see the mistakes that they make as well when their nerves chip in as much as mine. So because this car that I just passed was doing a whole lot of mistakes and stuff, I was able to pass. He got a bump there in my back and he passed back. So that's one of the things that just will happen. Like, you'll see actual mistakes happening, or intentional bumps, or mistaken bump. Yeah, so here we are now. This is what, lap 2. We have 20 seconds left. So at this point I've done 2 minutes and 9, and that's my best time at as it is. Some notification popping up on the left hand, I wasn't able to read them, so I'm not even sure what's happening. But they usually give you heads up as to what the other players are doing, whether it is that they're setting records or they finish with their time trial. But I am finishing this final lap to at least get a better time, so I can ultimately get a better placement. So here we go. Throughout this whole race, like, I like this corner because of how it's more like a what do we call it, an apex somewhat, where you have to slow down enough and then accelerate as you touch a particular zone. And this corner is my second favorite corner on this track, because while it's a turn, you can accelerate straight through it. It's one of those corners that and then because it comes up on another stop, it tests you. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much, because you're tempted to just go flat out, but then you have to keep in mind the fact that other corners are coming up, and it's just a whole heap of mental, and then other cars are on you. So it's a huge test for me, really. Like, right, just watching the replay here, seeing where I could do better, but also I must say that I am impressed with this driving. So to be honest, kind of feel like it's not me. It's like I'm watching a replay of somebody else. But anyway, managed to come in 4th. I think ultimately, when all the cars had finished, I ended up in 5th place. So this is the actual race. Jump to the actual race. We're already 3 laps in, and we started out in 5th and ended up passing one of the cars, and we're now in 4th place and battling for 3rd. So if you look at the driving style of the car in front, very shaky, and ultimately gave it the opportunity to pass. And goes back to what I mentioned earlier, where because it's actual players playing, you can see where nerves come into effect and mistakes can be made, and at that point you can come up with a plan to do a pass or just let it happen. So we're going on that second favorite corner that I like, where you just go flat out and you maintain that corner, go inside, keeping inside. Slow down to 3rd here, and then drop here again to 2nd. So these are the things that, and for me, I drive manual. It's not automatically changing, and these are the things that I have to keep in mind. That you just have to maintain that particular focus. So there's a corner coming up, using the markers to the right to come up with a stop. Slow down a bit just to get around, so I don't shift off the course. Then at the 100 here, I usually break up just to get around this particular turn. But as usual, was sweet you will sour you. So ended up in the barrier there because I didn't stop soon enough. So this is what I mentioned with nerves kicking in. So as good as it is to speed around the corner, you have to be mindful of when the the treacherous corner is coming up, and treachery roll me there. So drop down from third to sixth, and it's just a matter of while it can happen, you just have to maintain a bit of composure. Like for me, it does happen that I would get a bit frustrated, but having played this game like so much since the first recording, and even before that, because I had purchased this game sometime it came out in March 2022, and I think I bought it last December. Played it in January, and I never played it again since till August. So I've been playing it since August. We're now in September, and throughout the whole entire course, like the beginning of it when I started, I've been playing GT since like GT2 for the PlayStation 1. And one of the things that it will teach you that is to maintain your composure, because you tend to want to do things to win, and a lot of times you just like here, one of the reasons I say it's my favorite corner, and you just go flat out, but then you have to remember to brake, remember to gear down, remember to maintain acceleration, remember to maintain the cornering. So all of these things are at play. It can be frustrating, and it can take a toll on your mental, even though it's a video game. But you just hold that composure, keep focus, and you ultimately will win. So that's pretty much what's happening here. Having gone through that crash, maintain a bit of composure, and we're back at this corner now. Took it much better, and just managed to. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That's one of the things with me. Like, I don't understand when the invisibility comes in. I thought it would have there, but I ended up bumping that car off the road. Tragic, but boy, that's a life go. So anyway, ended up from 6th to 4th now, and based on what the timing is saying, the lead car is at least 8 seconds ahead, and the car previous to me, if you look on the left hand side, it says that I'm in 4th. The time, I'm not sure what that red time is, but there's a time above mine that shows where the lead car is, or is the car in front, I'm not sure. And then the bottom time is how close, or the time of how close the previous car is to me. Yeah, I hope I got that right. But anyway, here we are again, going through the turns. Slow down here, usually drop down to 2 for that turn, and then coast through, and then speed up as soon as I get out. Maintain speed here until I reach that orange flag on the right, start braking. Sometimes I go down to 2, sometimes I go down to 1 here. So because in this race, I think in most online races there is tire wear. So if you look down to the bottom of the screen where you see the speed, to the left you'll see 4 bars. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 is the front left, front right, back left, back right, and you'll see white, and then at the top some red. As the race progresses, and as you use the vehicle, as you brake, as you skid, slide, it shows how badly worn the tires are throughout the race. So I am getting accustomed to that. Wasn't really used to it before because I've mostly been playing the arcade version of this, where it's just not so much realism. But what that affects is, so where you see me brake just now, and I'm braking very smoothly, as the tires get older, sometimes you'd have to brake sooner, or you'd end up sliding off the track and such. So anyway, skip now to a point where, so what happened was it was pretty much a lot of the same coming from the previous lap. So we're now in lap 9 of 15. So we jump now to this part, and like before, foolishness reached me. So ended up losing 2 places again, or 1, and back on the track, and another car was coming up. It's also the first time I've been doing 15 laps, so trying to get accustomed to it. One of the things that I wasn't used to was the rain. So as I'm not if you recall in the first end of the video, it was sunny, and as we progressed through, it started getting partly cloudy, and ultimately rain started falling, and it affected drivability to it was terrible, because even though, if you notice, I usually speed through here. I have to be taking my time. I should have braked sooner, but I'm not used to the rain thing, so I ended up off track. What I noticed though, some of the other cars, they do this much better than I can. I'm not sure what kind of tires they have. Usually the rain tires would help in situations like this, but one of the prerequisites is to actually have racing tires for this. Hard racing tires at that. Boy, I do not know. It affected me very much, I must say, to the point where I ended up losing a whole heap of place. Before there were 12 cars. Right now there's only like 8 of us. A lot of the players, they just quit, resign. But I wanted to actually just finish this. See, there's a red car behind, and he just goes through, not sliding as much as I am. Not sure what kind of settings he has, or what, but didn't let it bother me too much. Wanted to keep up as much as I could, but I also have to be careful here. So tried braking as if it was dry, ended up off track. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think I'll ever get used to this. So fast track, and fast track a little bit more, because it's pretty much all of the same. At some point I thought it was 15 laps, ended up being 14 laps. So we're coming up to the finish line soon. Ended up finishing 6th. It was a really good race, I must say. But yeah, that's it for me. It was a good race. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.